Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boat. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana.
$1 million fam shit, nigga.
I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boat. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. Bitch, I'm from Louisiana. We call it that boat.
And how's it going, folks? Welcome to Off the Dome Sports. My name is Sean Militello, and tonight we're going to talk about some New Orleans Pelicans basketball. We're going to talk about some head coaching candidates. But most importantly, these are head coaching finalists. It's been reported by, I believe, by Andrew Lopez. He's the New Orleans Pelicans writer for ESPN. And he said earlier this week the Pelicans are down to 3 to 4 finalists, and some of the names I have down are, I know guaranteed 2 of them are the finalists. So there's some interesting names right here. One in particular that I did not see coming. We're gonna get down to it just in a minute. If you have not followed Off the Dome Sports on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We even got a YouTube. Go ahead and do that now. Get this post a like. Share it. That would be nice. Share it. Come comment with me. Talk about these head coach finalists I'm fixing to talk about as we take a deep dive into these head coaching finalists. So let's go with the number one head coach finalist. Well, he's not number one, but he's one of the head coach finalists, and it's Stan Van Gundy. It's been reported that he's one of the finalists. He interviewed well. He's a guy that's been all over the place. He's coached for the Heat, the Magic, and the Pistons. He has a pretty impressive record. And I just got news. Ryan will be on at 10, my co-host. He is coming on at 10 o'clock. So I got somebody coming on at 10 o'clock, which is 20 minutes from now. So we're talking about Stan Van Gundy. He has 523 wins and 384 losses as a head coach. He's coached for the Heat, Magic, Pistons. He's also coached Dwight Howard, D. Wade, Shaq, Blake Griffin. He's a guy that, players do like him a lot. He's a well-known coach in his league. His brother's another guy that's well-known, Jeff Van Gundy. He's an announcer with Mark Jackson on TNT. So he's got a great basketball mind. He's been around forever. He's a guy that could build up our young talent, and he's a guy that has a lot of things that could help us with this young talent, especially with Zion. But guys like Brandon Ingram, Drew Holiday, even Lonzo. I think Lonzo would benefit the most with Stan Van Gundy, because Stan Van Gundy runs a lot of off-ball screens. He's an in-out passer. He likes to work from in to the out, and he hardly uses ISO, which is Brandon Ingram's bread and butter. And Drew Holiday, they're both ISO players. So you look at it, and he's a guy that loves to shoot the three. He loves to shoot three, which that helps us because we like to shoot the three, but we also don't work from the in inside to out, when normally an outside to in type of team. So he's a guy that's gonna bring some kind of different philosophy what we had from Alvin Gentry. Stanford Gunny's not really a fast-paced guy. He likes to get plays set up, off-ball screens. J.J. Redick is a guy that's familiar with his philosophy. Stanford Gunny actually has a lot of good comments to say about J.J. Redick. He says he's a good player. J.J. Redick has been very fond on Stanford Gunny as well. So you look at Stanford Gunny. You look at when he was with the Heat. He almost had a 60 win season, and then they lost in the Eastern Finals to the Detroit Pistons 4-3. And then the following year, he starts off 11-10 and ends up getting fired. So you look at that as well. He's a guy that's going to want disciplined defense. He doesn't believe in playing young guys just for them to get experience. He's a guy that likes to wait until the young players are ready to play, and he feels like if you're not ready to play, he's not going to play you. Guys like Jackson Hayes might be sitting on the bench on the Stanford Gunny. Guys like Nickeil Alexander-Walker is another guy that might be sitting on the bench under Stanford Gunny until he proves he can be ready to play and make an impact on the team. He's a guy that's going to start veterans, mostly veterans, guys that's going to be able to play now. We actually got a comment from BM Furlow 4, looks like on Twitter. Jrue Holiday gone. Well, we'll see. There's been a lot of rumors on Jrue Holiday to see if he's going to be leaving or not. I don't think he would fit well in a Stanford Gunny system. Like I said, he's an ISO player. Stanford Gunny is a guy that hardly runs ISO plays. So if we were to hire Stanford Gunny, I think it could impact our position on trading Jrue Holiday. Maybe that even pushes the trade Jrue Holiday even more, especially if you got teams like the Warriors calling. If they want to trade their second overall pick for Jrue Holiday, shit, I'm all for it, man. I also seen three team trades where it falls the Warriors, Knicks, Pelicans. They'll send, I think it was Andrew Wiggins and the second overall pick to the Knicks. We send Lonzo to the Knicks, Jrue to the Warriors. We get R.J. Barrett and we get the Knicks 8 overall pick. I believe we still keep our 13 overall pick. So trades like that would highly benefit us in the future, but are those realistic? Not really. What are you going to get for Jrue Holiday that's going to be like somebody from the Heat or Nuggets? Nuggets is a team that is looking to trade for Jrue Holiday earlier in the season. They're probably going to offer guys up like Bobo. He's a rookie out of Oregon. He's a very interesting prospect. He shined at the beginning of the bubble. He's over a 7-footer, 7'3" guy who can shoot, dribble. He's so skinny, man. He's not your traditional big man. In fact, he's like an oversized guard. Really oversized guard. And then you're going to get a contract filler in Gary Harris. And I'm not too sure that they would even offer up Michael Porter. Maybe so. Who knows? If they offer up Michael Porter, I'm all game for that. So it just depends who they get offers from. The Heat's another interesting topic. I've seen where Tyler Hero might be offered to Jrue Holiday. I doubt that happens because Tyler Hero had looked amazing there. It's probably going to be guys like Kendrick Nunn, Kelly Olynyk, and if we're lucky, maybe Duncan Robinson. But Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero, in my opinion, is probably untouchable for the Heat. So the Heat's probably out of the equation. And I even seen a trade with the Nets sending Spencer Dinwiddie, Jared Allen, and I believe, I forgot who was the third player, but it was not a great trade. I did not like that trade at all. I believe Griffin wouldn't even accept that. Now maybe like a Caris LeVert and a Jared Allen and a first round pick, I would take that. Holiday is extremely underrated, and I think we should keep him if we don't find the right trade. We don't necessarily have to trade him. You know what I'm saying? He's not a must trade. He's a guy that we keep him if we don't find the right trade offer because you know what? His defense, he provides a lot of great defense. He's a leader by example. He's not a guy that's gonna coach these guys up. He's not force a voice leader. He's a guy that leads by example. So at times that's probably the problems for these young guys because we need more of a focal leader, and Drew Holiday's not much of a focal leader. He's a guy that he leads by example on the floor. He plays hard. The thing is, from the two-guard position, we need a 3-point shooter, and I honestly believe J.J. Redick should be starting. Maybe have Drew Holiday come off the bench, or have Drew Holiday start at the point guard. Drew Holiday's a good 3-point shooter, but he's not consistent. He's not a spot-up shooter. We need a spot-up shooter, and Drew Holiday's not that. But do we have to trade him? Absolutely need to trade him? No. If you don't find the right trade offer, you don't trade him. Keep him. He's a great player. Here's another comment. In my opinion, he's an absolutely worth a lottery pick. Yes, but it's just obviously he would be worth a lottery pick. He was worth a lottery pick when we traded for him. We traded Nerlens Noel, 4th overall pick, I believe, for Drew Holiday. But there comes a time and point what lottery pick you want. I wouldn't want anything past top 5. And there's not going to be much teams besides maybe the Warriors that would even offer their pick because Drew Holiday is a good player, but some teams are not going to be willing to mortgage their future for Drew Holiday. It's going to be teams like the Warriors, win now teams that's going to be offering for Drew Holiday. Is he worth a lottery pick? Yeah, but not. He's not worth a team's lottery pick that's looking to build for the future. Drew Holiday is not a future piece. He's a win now piece. And I think that's what a problem with him on his team is. He's a win now piece. He's not really built for the future. Here's another one. I'm not sure him on the Warriors is a good fit with the guards they have. I don't know, man. It just depends. I mean, obviously, if they trade for Holiday, they're going to have to trade Wiggins. It's because that's how the contracts are going to work. Warriors don't have much cap space to work with anyways, so they're going to have to trade Wiggins. Wiggins is the odd man out. They're going to trade him. They're going to trade him eventually. I don't think they're going to keep him. I'm not too sure they'll keep him when the season starts. Maybe so, maybe not. I just don't think he's there for a long term. They signed him to a contract to make him a better trade asset to be a cap filler. I think he's a better fit than Andrew Wiggins on the Warriors. Because you look at it, you're gonna start Steph Curry at the point. You're gonna start either Holiday at the 2 or 3. He can play both positions. Clay is good enough to guard the 3s and sometimes the 4s. So Steph, Holiday, and Thompson, that's a hell of a trio. Klay Thompson and Drew Holiday defending, man, that would be fucking like elite. That puts the Warriors right back into the championship contenders. That's probably be the best asset they would ever get behind Kevin Durant. Bradley Beal to the Lakers. The Lakers have a good bit of salary cap. I'm not too sure if they'll be able to afford Bradley Beal. It just depends. I don't really look at the Lakers too much. I do know they have some cap coming up, but is it enough to afford Bradley Beal? Who knows? I don't think Bradley Beal will go to the Lakers. I think players like maybe, well, I can't say Chris Paul because I was just talking about money, and Chris Paul has an outrageous contract. So does John Wall. It's going to be a veteran. star player that's going to go to the Lakers. I don't know if Bradley Beal is the veteran, but he's very young. I think it's going to be a guy like Zach LaVine ended up going to the Lakers. He's a good prospect. He's a little cheaper than Bradley Beal. I believe Bradley Beal just signed that brand new contract. Zach LaVine, I think he's only getting paid like $20 million a year. Victor Oladipo is another guy that probably will go to the Lakers or is a candidate to go to the Lakers. Those type of guys, Zach LaVine, Victor Oladipo. Dude, I love this comment. And I was saying this earlier in the finals. I absolutely agree with you, Farlow. Dwight Howard. And a lot of people, a lot of Pelicans fans think we need to go out and get a center, just some elite center. A lot of people want to go out and get Miles Turner from the Pacers. And no, we don't need that. We really don't need that. Miles Turner is not a good defensive player. A lot of people say he's a great paint protector. You know, he might get some blocks, but does not make him a good paint protector. He's also, he's a guy, really, I don't know what Nate McMillan was thinking, but he's a guy that changed him from a post scorer to a stretch five, and he's not even a great stretch five, I would have just kept him as a post scorer, and I know that's obsolete in today's game sometimes, but he's a better post scorer, and he's better working from the inside to the outside. The Pacers and Nate McMillan had him going from the outside to in, which, that's just not his game, man. You look at his stats, he's not a very good three-point shooter. Not all stretch fives are not going to have good three-point percentages anyway. So I think Dwight Howard would be a great pickup. I don't know if he would want to come here. I think he would want to stay on the Lakers if they want to keep him, or he's going to go to another contending team. I don't think the Pelicans are a finals contender team just yet. We'll see. Maybe about 3 to 5 years down the road we will be, but we're not now. We're too young. But if he would want to come here, I'm all game for it. He can't be any worse than Derek Favors. In fact, I think he would be better. He's a better rebounder. He's much stronger. He can protect the paint better. I think he's a better defender outside the paint than Derek Favors. You can switch him in with, you don't even have to start him. You can switch in with Jackson Hayes and Dwight Howard. Jackson Hayes can learn from Dwight Howard. Then you get your stretch five to come off the bench. Then you have a trio of centers, which I think is what we need to do. And it's the cheaper option than going out to go trade for Miles Turner, which I don't have a clue why people would want to trade for him anyways. The only center I would even trade for that's big money is Joel Embiid. And I know he's injury prone at times, but I'd rather take a chance on Joel Embiid than spending money to trade for fucking Miles Turner. Trading Drew Holiday for Miles Turner, I don't know, man. I don't like that at all. Gallinari, yeah, maybe, maybe. He's a guy that's, I'm pretty sure he's getting paid about $20 million or less. It just depends. We would have to trade for him. But who are we going to trade? Drew Holiday for Gallinari? We don't need Gallinari. We got Melly. He's our stretch 4. You're going to end up signing that stretch 5. So there's just no need for Gallinari. He's a great player, but I don't know. He's just not going to work out at this time. Keep them coming, Furlow. I like your comments. But you look at the Pelicans, and we were just talking about Stan Van Gundy. Ty Lue is another finalist. Ty Lue is another finalist for the Pelicans. It's been confirmed. Stan Van Gundy and the Ty Lue are for sure finalists. There's been some heat going, traction with Ty Lue going to Houston, which is, he's a guy that wants to go to Houston as well. He's interested in Houston. He's an NBA champion as a head coach and player. He's won it with the Cavs and with LeBron. He's played with the Lakers and won a championship there. He's played under Phil Jackson. He's been an assistant with Boston and the Clippers under Doc for a very long time, for most of his coaching career, assistant coaching career as well. He's coached guys like LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, and J.R. Smith. Uh, he has come out and said he wants to coach younger talent to see what he can do. And I think we got Mr. Ryne Navarro on, but we have 0 views, Ryan. But it's okay. What's going on, Ryan?
Not much, man.
Shit. Oh. That's alright. So, Ryan, I was just talking about Stan Van Gundy and Ty Lue. What do you think about those two?
I've been in talks with some Pelicans fans. Dude, we got major background noise. All right, it's better now. All right, cool. Yeah, I've been talking about this. One thing that's kind of true about Van Gundy, no matter what team he coaches, is he has to have a good big man. Think about it. In Miami, in Orlando, when he had success, he had Dwight Howard. When they had success in Detroit, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, back when Andre Drummond wasn't trash. So, I mean, now we're, do we have an impressive big man? I mean, I know we got Zion, but Zion's not exactly the person Van Gundy's coached. So, I think we'll have to build a team to fit around Van Gundy other than Van Gundy fitting to our team. Ty Lue, I know David Griffin's high on him. You're pretty high on him yourself. You have been in the past. I'm still not a firm believer in him. I'm like, LeBron won the championships, not Ty Lue. I'll stand by that until Ty Lue proves me wrong. But obviously, he lost. Nobody wanted to pick him up as a head coach. So why would the Pelicans? But yeah, I'm more into that Chris Finch, Will Weaver type of guy where nobody really knows about him. But I mean, Nick Nurse, look what Nick Nurse did in Toronto. Nobody knew who Nick Nurse was, and he came out, won a championship in Toronto. I mean, yeah, he had Kawhi, but he put some pieces together and beat a team he wasn't supposed to be in the NBA Finals. So,
and I certainly agree. And then another guy I was fixing to talk about was Jason Kidd, because I know for sure Stan Van Gundy and Ty Lue are for sure finalists. Jason Kidd is like on the verge of being a finalist. It hasn't been confirmed yet, besides those two. But Jason Kidd is certainly a guy that's gaining traction with the Pelicans. So I want to know, before I get into detail about Jason Kidd, what are your thoughts about Jason Kidd, Ryan?
If we get Jason Kidd, then we need to trade for CP3. Because I don't think he can coach a team without a top-tier point guard. He's a point guard himself, but he needs a floor general to kind of run things for him. I mean, really, his resume isn't overly impressive by any means. I mean, yeah, he was a star point guard in the league. I mean, but I'm not big on him because I don't think he can develop talent the way that the Pelicans need to develop talent. And so, honestly, I'm not big on any of these guys. I think if I had to pick out of the Pelicans crew, I would probably just pick Stan Van Gundy and pursue a good big man to kind of anchor down. I mean, Stan Van Gundy, his teams have been better on defense in the past. So, but Jason Kidd, I'm not feeling it.
And we got BM Furlough for Zion with no restrictions next year. It's going to be sick.
It will be.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be sick. Hopefully he's not fat. But yeah. Yeah, we're expecting big things for Zion next year. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. He's the second coming for this team. And he's got another comment that says CP3 would definitely will be available, which he will, but I don't know if he's going to be available for the Pelicans. But
That's a big contract.
yeah, exactly. That's why I think he won't be available for the Pelicans, because we would have to give up a lot just in cap, like just our main cap guys, which is probably be Drew and somebody else, just to get CP3. And I don't know about that one, but let's go back to I'm talking about Jason Kidd. You said one of his weaknesses is player development. I actually think that's one of his strengths. He's actually a good player development. I think that's actually why he would make a good assistant coach, because he's a guy that likes to player develop. You look at it when he was with the Bucks, he developed Giannis into something pretty well. He developed Middleton. Jabari Parker, before he got injured, he developed him as well. Brogdon was becoming to be a notable role player, and now he's a good player now. Fawn Maker was good under Jason Kidd. After Jason Kidd, he's been absolute trash. And Tony Snell is another guy he developed. He became a good 3-and-D forward under him. The thing is, I think his weakness is coaching. He's a good developmental player. I mean, he's a good developmental coach. He likes to develop players and work on individual players. But as far as coaching an entire team, I don't think he's good at it. Because you look at it, his back with the Nets. You had D. Will, Brooke Lopez, KG, Paul Pierce, Joe Johnson. So, I mean, I know the guys were very old at the time, but there's no reason why you should have finished 44-38. You're picked to go over 50 wins, and I believe they barely beat the Raptors in the first round, and they got beat by the Heat in 5 games. So there's no reason with them guys you had. There's no reason why you should only win 44 games. So in my opinion, he's not a good team coach. He's a guy that he's great with working with individual players, and I think LeBron likes him a lot, and that's why he likes Ty Lue as well, because I think their player coaches, they needs to be former players, and they like to look at individual players, work on individual players instead of focusing on the whole team.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I said that we needed a star level point guard for Jason Kidd to work out. And I've read that they're looking for a coach, and basically they want a coach to tell them whether or not they want Lonzo Ball or not. So is that going to play a factor? Does David Griffin really care if a coach wants Lonzo Ball or not? Who really knows? But my personal opinion is I agree with you to an extent. Giannis' development. I mean, Giannis didn't win MVPs until Budenholzer took over. So I'm not the biggest fan of Kidd. I haven't been, and like he said, he hasn't done much. I mean, he hasn't done much for the teams he's coached. I mean, I know I'm one to always say coaching doesn't matter too much. Well, when you have star power like he's had, coaching, it has to be coaching. Now the Pelicans don't have the star power that he's had. I want to make that loud and clear. The Pelicans do not have the star power that the Brooklyn Nets had when he took over. They don't have the same star power as the Milwaukee Bucks. Well, they might be closer to the Bucks, but still, my point is, if he's not getting some of these better teams past the second round, I don't care if it's LeBron's Heat or not. He has to get these better. He has to get these better teams into the conference finals and stuff to prove a point. And if he's going to do it out west, I don't see it. Your best bet was doing it in the East, and now you're trying to do it in the West, where you got the Lakers, you got the Warriors, who are about to be good again, you got the Clippers. The Nuggets seem to never give up. I mean, there's 4 top-tier teams.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And the more I look at all 3 of these candidates, Ty Lue, I like how he's been under Doc for most of his assistant coaching career, and I like how he's gritty, and I like how he wants to take on developing young talent. He came out and actually said that. It's quoted. If you go look it up, he wants to take on younger talent and kind of develop them. Hold these players accountable. That's what he said. That's what he's learned when he's played under Phil Jackson, and that's what he's learned coaching under Doc Rivers, holding big time players accountable. He said when he played under Phil Jackson will hold Kobe and Shaq the most accountable for the reasons why they lost. So he's gonna guy that's gonna hold Zion, Brandon Ingram, Drew Holiday, Lonzo accountable if they lose. Because you know what, that's very smart in my opinion, because that only drives your best players to do better. But when you see your best players thriving, then your other players, role players, bench players are going to thrive too. It's going to make a better team. But the more I look at it, out of these three candidates, and it looks like we're going to go with a veteran head coach. I don't think Chris Finch is in the running, which like we wanted to, which I don't get. But out of these three candidates, I'm going to go with Stan Van Gundy because he's got the best resume. He's got over 500 wins, just under 400 losses. He's been in the finals with the Magic. He's been in the Eastern Conference Finals with the Heat. He's made the playoffs with the Pistons. So, he's made the playoffs with all three teams he's coached. He's made the finals once, Eastern Conference with the Heat. So he's coached Dwight Howard, D. Wade, Shaq Griffin. So he's no stranger to stars. Zion's going to be the next superstar he's going to coach. He loves to shoot the three, but the thing is, he's not an ISO coach. He doesn't like playing ISO ball, which affects Brandon Ingram a lot. It will affect Zion to some degree, and it would certainly affect Drew. Yeah, I was about to say Drew. If you get Stan Van Gundy, you're going to have to trade Drew. You're gonna start JJ because JJ is gonna fit the most at that 2 guard for Stan Van Gundy, because Stan Van Gundy likes them off ball screens. He likes to work inside to out. When he was with the Magic, he was first in 3-point attempts and first in 3-point shooting when he was with the Magic, which is something which is impressive because you had Dwight Howard, which was your main player, and he was a center, and obviously he did not shoot threes, so he was working through the center position. So that makes me think he's going to work through Zion. Maybe Zion would take on the Dwight Howard role, work in the paint, work inside to out, have Zion do some off-ball screens, set JJ Redick up for shooting. I honestly think Lonzo Ball will flourish understand Van Gundy system, and he wants disciplined defense, which is what we need is disciplined defense. And he doesn't. The only con of this, he doesn't like playing young guys if they're not ready. Like he doesn't believe in playing young guys just to let them gain experience. He doesn't believe in that. He's actually came out and said that. He said he only plays them if he feels like they're ready to play and make an impact on the team.
Yeah. Personally, that's my choice, Sam Van Gundy. And like you said, you got to make a couple moves to make it work out. Interesting fact, JJ Redick was actually drafted by the Magic when Sam Van Gundy was coach. Some people forget about that. So, but like you said, he likes to run it through the bigs. He runs those little off-screen stuff. It probably didn't work out for him too well in Detroit because Detroit didn't really build a team well around him. It was Drummond, Blake Griffin, and Reggie Jackson. So I do think he's the best candidate. I wouldn't mind seeing the Pels make a move to try to get James Wiseman, because I think James Wiseman could be really big under that. And yeah, I agree. You got to get rid of Drew. Drew's an ISO guy. I don't think it'll affect Brandon Ingram too much. I really don't. When you're a coach, you got to let a dynamic player be a dynamic player. So you're going to let Zion do his thing. You got to let Brandon Ingram do his thing. Because if you don't, you minimize what they're doing. Like you're just telling Brandon Ingram go out and sit in the corner and shoot threes. I mean, what good is that? The guy's coming off an all-star appearance. So, but it would be interesting to see, would Josh Hart fit? Guys like Darius Miller, believe it or not, will probably fit. So it's going to be interesting. Do we keep Etwan Moore now? If you get Stan Van Gundy, do you keep Etwan Moore? Just guys who can shoot the three. So, like you said, Lonzo Ball will probably flourish a little bit more just because of the offense. But, it's also kind of funny because one complaint of Pelicans fans many times during the season was stop shooting the three. So what are you about to see a lot of? Shooting the three. And but I do like the idea that he's a really good – teams have been known to be pretty good defensively, something that the Pelicans really need. So if we have a coach that preaches defense, hey, I'm all for it. So Sam Van Gundy's definitely my choice out of those three. Even though you hear a lot of good stuff about Chris Finch. And I'm not sure if it's just, NOLA people being homebodies, but at the same time, if you have a chance to get someone like Nick Nurse, you might as well. But Sam Van Gundy, I guess, is pretty good himself.
Yeah, here's the thing with Pelicans fans, they're going to like about Stan Van Gundy. I know people saying stop the three, but Stan Van Gundy's not a fast-paced guy. You're going to see them taking their time on offense. So maybe Pelicans will like that aspect of it where they're actually running the play. Now, that's going to take a lot of time for this young squad to learn. Are they going to be able to learn how to set off ball screens, keep running through the motions and their plays? Stan Van Gundy runs, that's something Pelican fans would probably want if they wanted to go that route. Set up the opportunity to shoot a three instead of going up fast pace. Get the first shot that's available. Shoot first. 7 seconds or less type of offense. I feel like that's what the Pelican fans are tired of seeing. They want to see a whole fucking, what is it, 25 seconds or 30 seconds on the shot clock?
24.
24. So, I mean, they want to see the whole fucking 24 seconds go off the shot clock, but whatever. But
yeah, at the same time, I'm not a big believer at Pelicans fans. I could agree with that, just because they just wanted to see better shot selection. Period. I don't think anybody had a problem with that high-paced offense because you got to see a lot of flashy plays. So, but I think what the Pelicans fans are like most is having a bigger name coach. I mean, Sam Van Gundy's obviously, he's not the biggest name out there. Everybody wanted Doc Rivers for good reason, but Sam Van Gundy is a name, a well-known name, and I think that's something Pelicans fans wanted. It was someone with a well-known name and someone with a track history.
Is that me echoing or is that Ryan?
It was me. Now you put yourself on
Roman
mute.
called you out, bro.
No,
Roman.
When you're not on mute, I echo.
Oh, he said it's fixed though. I don't know, man. That's some weird shit. But anyways, Roman, give me your thoughts about the Pelicans. Do you even watch the Pelicans? He's our only viewer right now.
I know you didn't like Alvin Gentry.
He did not like Alvin Gentry?
No. I mean, not many people did.
Roman needs to give us his coaching philosophy. He's a new head coach.
Yep, at Neapolis High School.
He just says, yeah, bro. Like, what's that mean? Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, I think that pretty much covers for the candidates. Stan Van Gundy, Shiloh, Jason Kidd. Absolutely not like his play style. My gosh. It is what it is. A lot of people thought that. You tell me, Roman, you could not run that fast-paced offense at a Foyles High School? 7 seconds or less?
He could. I don't think he has the shooters, but he could.
Well, I think that's just about it. If anybody else wants to comment, or 2 viewers and all, I don't know. Make this thing spicy. You have anything else to say, Ryan?
Oh, man. Not really. Trade Drew. I'm on the trade Drew train. Trade him. Warriors. Let's make a deal.
Do you feel like the Pelicans absolutely have to trade Drew? Do they absolutely have to trade Drew?
I think it'll change direction if we trade him. I think it'll change the direction. I think he's a thorn in. I think he could be a thorn in the side going into the future.
I just think I don't think we should trade him unless the absolutely right trade offer comes up. I just don't think we have to trade Drew. Do we need to trade Drew? Or is it, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. I'm only going to trade Drew if the right trade offer comes up. We think Roman says not Drew. he obviously, Roman likes the defensive aspect of Drew Holiday and the grittiness. But honestly, this is a team that's almost last in defense, so can we get any worse?
But he holds the team back on offense sometimes. In the bubble, he was a turnover machine in the bubble. I mean, I know there's a bunch of homebodies in New Orleans and who respect their team no matter what, even though if you look at all the Saints groups right now on Facebook, they all think Drew Brees should be benched for Jameis Winston. Makes no sense because the same people want Drew Holiday to play 48 minutes a game. But on offense, he's holding the team back. And, you said it many a times, he needs to come off the bench. You need to let JJ start. I agree. JJ does probably need to start. And
honestly, I would not see a problem with that. Like, you have JJ start. You get the offense that you need. JJ would be perfect at that 2-guard spot. It would actually force Lonzo to actually go drive and go attack the basket.
He can shoot a free throw.
Well, he's been working on his free throws apparently, so we'll see what he does. But you have Drew Holiday off the bench. He could be the leader of your bench. Come off. He could play point guard off the bench. I wouldn't see a problem with that. Let Drew Holiday run the show off the bench. Be kind of like a Marcus Smart situation,
I just think he doesn't fit with the Bills.
Well, he doesn't fit offensively, that's for sure. Now, if we didn't have Lonzo, I would say just go ahead and start him at the point guard position. And I know you wouldn't agree with that because you say he creates a lot of turnovers, but it can't be any more than what Lonzo would do. In my opinion, I think Drew would be a better point guard right now than Lonzo is. That's just how I see it. At least Drew Holiday would go attack the basket. You look at the stats. Drew Holiday has actually got a better shooting percentage than Lonzo. So not only Drew can shoot, he can attack the basket and he can make free throws. He's not as good as a passer, Alonzo, but he's pretty solid.
No, I don't like that. Because he clogs it up for Brandon Ingram. I mean, at the end of the day, he clogs up lanes for Brandon Ingram. And he does stuff that takes away from Brandon Ingram. I mean, look, at this point in the franchise and the development of the franchise, who's more important, Drew Holiday or Brandon Ingram? I mean, any reasonable fan would say Brandon Ingram. And look, he's more of a dynamic scorer than Drew. I mean, Drew does certain things well, but at the same time, he has to have the ball in his hands. He's too short to slash. He plays great defense at times. It seems like he only wants to show up against certain people, but I'm not a Drew homebody. I'm just not. So
Yeah, if we do end up keeping Drew, he's gonna have to learn how to become more of a spot up shooter because, he's a good 3-point shooter. He's just not a consistent shooter. He's not a spot up shooter. He's just not. He's a guy that shoots off the dribble. He's a guy that will shoot in fast pace. That's just his game when it comes to shooting. So if we do decide to keep him, he needs to learn how to be more of a spot up shooter, kind of what like JJ Redick does, and that's how it is, and that's capable of him because he could do it. It's not you've seen players in the past learn how to be more of a spot up shooter, and Drew Holiday's got a good work ethic. Why can't he learn how to be a spot up shooter, fit better into the offense?
yeah, Drew Holiday's not one of those players that make me stand up out of my seat every time they shoot a three. So I agree. He does need to learn how to shoot better. He needs to learn how to spot up shoot better. And if he has that to his game, maybe I'll like him more. But as this guy who wants to dribble the ball around, have the ball in his hands for 5-10 seconds, and try to make a play, it doesn't make sense. We already have somebody like that in the lineup. So that's just my opinion. I'm different than many of the Pelicans fans.
Well, we'll do our off-season predictions Saturday night. We couldn't do it tonight due to some we're both busy and stuff like that. So we'll do that Saturday night. For everybody that's still here watching, the one viewer. Who is that one viewer? I don't know. Is it Roman or is this Furlough guy? I think the Furlough guy left a long time ago. But we'll come back here Saturday night. We'll talk about the off-season predictions. Hopefully by then we'll have a head coach. So hopefully.
I think that would change how I would say the team goes a lot.
Well, if you look at the three candidates, I don't know.
I think there will be major change if you see Stan Van Gundy. If it's the other two guys, you're going to see some change, but it's not going to be major.
Yeah, I actually agree to that. I'd say if you get Stanford Gundy, I think we'll end up trading Drew Holiday, and we'll keep Lonzo. Obviously, we'll keep Ingram, keep Zion. Zion might be playing the 5 more often. Who knows? So we'll see what happens. We'll come back here Saturday night. Is there anything else you want to say, Ryne?
Cajuns play tomorrow. Go Cajuns.
They play on a Wednesday?
Yeah, they're playing on Wednesday night on ESPN.
Who they're playing?
Coastal Carolina. It was actually supposed to be Saturday, but the hurricane canceled it. So
is Coastal Carolina good?
I believe they received some votes in AP poll, so it's gonna be a good one. I would go to the game, but currently the tickets are more expensive than most Saints games.
Damn.
Yeah.
So Cajun football going up in Lafayette. What are they, 4-0 or 3-0?
3-0, going for 4-0 tomorrow.
So, what's their rank?
They're 21.
Wow.
In both polls, so if they get a pretty convincing win tomorrow, you'll see them go up in the polls.
Only if they can beat Appalachian State.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait till December for that one. After this week, though, they got UAB, which UAB should be a pretty good game. Is that UAB? So, they're in the Conference USA, so that's kind of the conference above the Sun Belt, so we'll see.
Hell yeah, for sure. All right, that just about does it on Off the Dome Sports. We'll see you Saturday night.
Who dat?
Who dat?